Wherever I go, whatever happens, it's always you. Hmm. Well, the chase is over, and regardless of what's to follow, I know I've already won. I finally found exactly what I've been searching for. It's a crafty little menace who thinks that they can escape the consequences of their terrorizing, and who, for some reason, thinks that they're so clever as to evade me and believe that I don't know that they're hiding right under here. Yeah, good evening to you too, Your Grace. Or at least I'm choosing to believe that that's what you meant to say. It's a bit hard to tell with all the cursing and yelling. Good thing I'm pretty adept at interpreting the things that you say, eh? And the things that you leave unspoken. Oh, haha. You're getting creative. Wonderful use of iambic pentameter. And a very interesting employment of vocabularies, too. Didn't know that word had so much rhymes with it. Did you compose that just for me? How'd you know that I'm such a... what's the word for it? Sapiosexual? Good to see that those shooters aren't just for show. Though, your curriculum certainly is lacking in subjects that are, exciting. Stimulating. But if you'd like, I could fill in those gaps for you, among other things, and I promise you won't find me lacking. You know I'm just messing with you. But really, Your Grace, we've got to instill some manners into you. Uh-huh. And does this so-called dignified diplomacy include pouring drinks down the back of dresses, placing sharp tacks on the inside of shoes, stomping on the feet of dance partners, and telling highly, and I mean highly, inappropriate jokes? Now you can say that to me, but I don't know how I feel about you saying that to anyone else. I I don't think Sir Bradfeld enjoyed the comment on his romantic pursuits, you guys. Yeah, sure. Or lack thereof. Look, stop that. It doesn't exactly suit the conventions of propriety and, expected for someone of your stature. Oh, no, no. If you're itching to let loose and act a bit improper, then you should be looking no further than me, Your Grace. Well, point to your guard then. That's me. No clever response, since, I hit you with that one pretty unexpectedly, did I? Perhaps you wasted all of your raunchiest jokes on turning Sir Bradfeld's face red. And now, I'm using my best material to make you blush. But, I do have other specialized methods to achieve the same result. If you'd like to see. Look, as fun as that activity would be in private, that still doesn't change the fact that this way of speaking is frowned upon by the high society. Unfortunately, this behavior is deemed beneath you, Your Grace. I don't think I understand. What do you mean you want me to be beneath you in private? Wait. Oh. That's, Your... Your Grace, you shouldn't... Why would you... Is that an invitation or a promise? Okay, look, you really play unfair here, Your Grace. I can't... this game's only fun when it's... when it's me having my way. When you do it, it feels... illegal. And It feels too... It's just not fair. If you were born an entertainer instead, you embody a particular knack for coy flirtation and suggestive flattery. You always have. Among the talents of lack thereof, you know, that you possess. None are quite as troublesome as those ones. And none are quite so unraveling. Your other traits are also just as troublesome though. I think the high society is definitely gonna raise that flag. But in all seriousness this time, I seem to always be the one asking you the same thing. So, for what seems like the 1000th time, why? Why am I not surprised? Of course, only you could attend a gathering of the most influential aristocrats in all the land, in the most opulent grounds in the world, no less, and somehow and in some way find such a juvenile excuse as boredom to justify your mischief. But at least it's a simple fix. Your Grace, if you wanted a bit of company, you only need to ask. It's part of the reason why I'm here, after all. No, that's... I didn't mean it like that. I'm not here to distract and entertain you in all the right ways that you say. I feel like that's not quite appropriate for the situation. I mean, you are a very important figure, and you just left, well, to the high society, a very important social activity. This party is important for making connections, networking. But I guess give yourself a point for somehow flustering me again. No matter how far I pull ahead, you always manage to finish on top, huh? And before you say anything, please don't comment on that. Okay, how is it that you're always able to do this to me? I mean, these jokes that you tell, these games that you play. I try to follow along with the best of my abilities, but I don't think being a guard really, lets me have the qualifications for this. You're just too good at making it feel real. Making me want to believe that it's real. And it always has me... It always has me questioning. Hoping, even. Is there actually any truth to them? No, wait. Never mind that. Apologies, Your Grace. I'm usually a lot more professional than this. I shouldn't have spoken. That was highly out of line for me to say. Seems that you've had more of an influence on me than I previously thought. Yeah. I guess that you have touched me. Touched my heart, Your Grace. Now, for real this time. Now that I've located you, it's really time for you to return to that gathering. You know what that means. Be on your best behavior, a model hair of the utmost poise and elegance. I'll do the same. Never the stoic, serious, and very professional guard. One that does not flirt with the sovereign, no matter how tempting they may be. I know, it's not much fun for you, but both you and I have a duty to uphold. And it's a pretty important one. Do you even know how important you are and how much people would pay to take you, to kill you? I have a very important job and I take it, well, as seriously as I can. I'm really lucky to have this position. that I even get to be near you. Yeah, our lives are a never-ending play. Maybe more accurately, a series of fairy tales in a never-ending book. But in any case, we have to put this on airs. We have to play our part to maintain our respective stations. You have no idea just how delicate the situation is. How even the smallest misstep might lead to you being in danger. Like you are now. Believe me, you're safe with me, but there's only so much one person can do. Look, think of it this way. Once you get all the small talk and pleasantries out of the way, we'll be free to explore the palace. Does that sound like a plan? You best believe it. I'll only be 15 paces away the entire time. I won't leave you. I promise. Now, what are we gonna do about that pouting face of yours? You know the drill. There we go. But don't you remember what I said? No causing trouble, okay? And that particular smile of yours could start a war, Your Grace, so you should know that anything you do is being watched by everyone. No pressure. If you say so. But only for me. Huh. But come on, up, before anyone else notices that you're gone. Well, go on. You lead the way and I'll guard the rear, as is standard protocol. Did you forget how you wound up here? Do you not remember what part of the palace you're in? Is that why you look so embarrassed? Your Grace, I didn't think you get lost so easily. But if you need, I would happily provide verbal instructions for how to... Oh, no? Oh. Ah, I see. That is against typical guarding procedures, but I suppose since you're asking so nicely, and since I can't bring myself to say no, yes, as long as no one's around to watch, you can hold my hand. But only up until we see the other guest, okay? Not a moment longer. And to clarify, I'm only allowing this because you claim that your legs are numb from crouching in your hiding spot for so long. And, you don't want to stumble. Nothing more. Let's get going, okay? You've chosen quite the secluded hiding spot, and I fear being caught alone in such an area might encourage some rumors. Look, as enticing as that sounds, I think that go against my code of honor as a bodyguard, to make them truths instead of rumors. Yeah, sure. Give yourself another point. Though you can't actually think that I'm skipping score, right? I can't exactly count that well. I don't think I've had as big of an education as you have. It doesn't matter how many sly jokes you make. You've already won in my eyes. Jeez, you're so competitive. I'm fairly certain that most nobles aren't as competitive as... Stop. No, I'm serious. Stop. Shh. Be silent, Your Grace. Something feels wrong. No, these scones. We walked past this on our way to your hiding spot. They were lit when I last passed through. And why does it feel so eerily quiet before? Don't you notice that? Not a single sound from the party, despite us not being far at all. Did you notice anyone following you when you came into these rooms? Anything strange at all? I don't know, Your Grace. But it's probably nothing, but I can't shake this feeling that we're being watched. that we're... wait. I think something's coming. Wait. Your Grace, look out!